What's up, everybody? Welcome back or welcome to. So we're finna get ready to jump into this full moon in Pisces that is happening September the 7th, 2025. All right. And this is activating the 12th house. All right. And the 12th house is all about the collective. It's all about, dreams, fantasies, but it's also like the last house of the natal chart. So it's definitely like a big emphasis on closeout energy. This is a full moon. Full moons are about releasing things, being illuminated, highlighted, heightened energy, heightened emotions, right? And in the sign of Pisces, this is all things spiritual. All right. But on a deeper level, this is dealing with your more unconscious, subconscious faculties. Okay. So this is a huge emphasis on knowing how to connect with your spirituality right now, knowing what spirituality even really truly means to you, because there's so many different ways to connect with your spirit. All right. But Pisces here, this full moon in Pisces in the 12th house, it's a lot of releasing going on. Okay. Saturn is at the anaretic degree 29 degrees. All right. And it's retrograde. So he's just got back into the sign of Pisces. So this is adding on to this full moon in Pisces. Saturn is the planet of restrictions, limitations, but also karma. All right. So there is like deceptive energy being highlighted. And this is specifically geared around collective patterns. All right. And these collective patterns, to get into what they are specifically, because this Pisces energy is trying to Cancer, it's trying to transit Jupiter in Cancer, right? So this could be dealing with certain familial energy, okay, on a personal level, but this can also be just dealing with, governmental energy and how the collective is being supported, through governmental officials and just people in power. That can be showing up within the collective patterns that are being called out right now. Whether that's because there's certain deceptive energy that's been going on, or certain energies that's been causing illusions. Whatever the case is, with Saturn re-entering here in Pisces with this full moon, is being made aware of. And the fact that also the transit north node is in Pisces right now, okay? And this full moon will be actually conjunct the north node in Pisces. There's this destined energy, like there's this final call out, final judgment energy that's necessary. With the south node, being in Virgo, there isn't a need to overanalyze anymore. It's this energy of where the patterns are making sense, things are lining up, can't run from it. Karma's here for better or worse. All right. So there is a lot of deceptive energy showing up. I'm not gonna lie about it. Or a lot of energies that maybe are causing illusions in your life, and this could be self-deception or from other energies, but it's being called out on a very collective level because it's impacting the collective. Right now, I want to also mention that this could be on the higher end, focused around this higher level of forgiveness. People could have found out certain deceptive energy and called out certain deceptive energies, and certain illusions could have been illuminated with the previous full moons that we've had and new moons that we've had, right? And so you're in this space where now you're almost maybe forgiving yourself for like being deceived and just reflecting on a lot of things that maybe happened. Or it could just be you reigniting even lost dreams and things like that, like feeling inspired to like now go after something that you wanted to go after a long time ago. That could be showing up. Now, the opposition to the sixth house, with the sun in Virgo activating the sixth house, right, which is all about work, routines, day-to-day activities, but it also can deal with your day-to-day reality, okay? And so that's where we get into a lot of this deceptive energy and illusions that have maybe been called out for some of y'all, are going to be called out. Then depending on how you maneuver through these energies, right, this can really put you in a different reality at this time. When you've been made aware of certain deception, or you stated your claim about certain deceptive energies, or when there's been certain illusions in your life, and when you finally get clarity on it, you wake up to like a new experience, because you no longer are deceived, you no longer are disillusioned, right? You have clarity now, you know the truth. Okay, so there's this opportunity to really align yourself with a more organized reality, like a reality that makes more sense to you. Basically, like, this is an energy with the 12th house being activated, where like literally resolving a lot of things that may have been deceptive again, but this has impacted you on like a subconscious, unconscious, soul level, because that's this 12th house, right? So when you gain clarity about these things on such a deep level, it impacts your day-to-day reality. Okay, so keep that in mind. If anything deceptive is coming up, don't be hesitant to write it off right now. Definitely take it into consideration, look into it, because literally you could gain so much clarity and actually even come out of some situations of being deceived. Okay, but also there's this energy with Saturn here where like whoever has been deceiving, causing illusions, you're being called out. and everybody's gonna know it, type of things. And now what the people who find out about these things, what they choose to do and act on when it comes to the deceiver or whoever's causing an illusion, person, place, or thing, what they choose to do after that now is this square that I'm talking about with Virgo, where you have to make sure that you are making the right choices. Basically just moving away from that, don't go back towards it or keep yourself stagnant. All right, now that gets into the next square to Gemini, activating the 3rd house of your mind, and it's the asteroid Psyche involved. Okay, and Psyche is everything we've been talking about. With Psyche squaring this full moon, this is huge. You need to know how to communicate with your Psyche right now. You need to know how to communicate with your subconscious mind right now. You need to know how to communicate with your unconscious mind. Okay, and what does that really mean? If for those who have activated that gift, they're in alignment with being able to connect with their subconscious and connect with certain beliefs that they have and patterns that they have. Job well done. You're probably in this state of reflection or surrender, where you're just really just taking it all in and just like above the deception, above the illusions, because you're already on that. Now, for those who are still trying to work that out, you have to really tap in, look at your natal chart. Wherever you have Pisces in your natal chart, whatever house it governs, you want to really put on this more spiritual lens when you're dealing with that house, because it requires you to really tap into your subconscious, your unconscious. Look at the signs, look at the symbols, think about the patterns that are happening. All right, those are things that you want to be doing, because that can help you with a lot of this deceptive energy that's showing up. And for the collective, this is some energy where I think the collective is coming to a lot of realizations and is calling out some very deceptive energies that have been plaguing generations. So this is a very powerful full moon. That gets me into the last square to the 9th house with Sagittarius, activating the asteroid Siva. And again, when you know better, you do better. When you have this higher awareness, you have all this clarity, you know how to not be deceived because you just have really done that internal work, right? Then you really have a higher awareness, is what I'm trying to say. And you can literally control your reality a lot smoother. Like, you literally can avoid so much. Literally knowing how to connect with your subconscious and your unconscious mind is so important. That's on a personal level. But collectively, there's just patterns that are showing up that the collective is going to be addressing, because a lot of it has been causing illusions or deception in some type of way. So that's basically the gist of this full moon in Pisces. If you are interested in getting like a reading from me, or you want to know how to work with the Pisces energy in your chart better, tap in, check out all the information below. My information is all there for you. I would also advise just a lot of reflection over these next 2 weeks. Don't be afraid to pause and sit and still and write, or just allow yourself to really reflect on some things before you make final calls or whatever it may be. So without further ado, peace.